What's going on, Top Fans? It's Chris from CYB TV, and here it is. It's the post-match chat. Sorry, for Liverpool versus Everton. It's the Merseyside derby. The Reds came out on top today. Unfortunate for us, fortunate for them. It's been an unfortunate line of events that's happened in like the last week, 2 weeks. We had our ups and we had many downs, all starting off with the loss of Seamus Coleman, as most of you know. Then Morgan Schneiderlin came before that, when he went out during the game against Hull. Then we had the announcement of Bramley Murdoch, then Seamus Coleman, and then Funes Mori, and then now this. So let's get right into it then. So today, I honestly thought we could go right into it. I was actually very surprised to see that the manager decided to play the three in the back. I thought it would go well, but then the addition of Matthew Pennington, I think, really might have. He scored his first goal. His first return back to Premier League football. But as I said in my pre-match chat, including him in the lineup, the occasion might be too big, and clearly it was, because Sadio Mane, Philippe Coutinho, they had a ball with him in the back line today. There were, after the game, even during the game, there were a few fans saying Mace, he's a center back, not really too much of a fullback. Although when in the first few games of the season, we saw Mason Holgate. He flourished, holding down that right back spot for Seamus Coleman while he was out. But it seems like I guess I can't really say that. Maybe it's just one of those days, because when the manager later on in the game decided to go back to the four in the back, you saw Mace really start getting into the game. He really started picking up. He started, really, flourishing on the right hand side, going up, going down, really defending. It was too late at that point, but it happened. He even had a header that unfortunately went over. He had a shot from distance that unfortunately the goalkeeper parried. So he really started picking up into the game. But I guess, it was the fact that there wasn't any experience next to him. If there was somebody more experienced next to him, maybe it would have went differently. But I don't want to just say that Mason Holgate's more of a center back than a fullback. I mean, yeah, he definitely did very well when he was playing as that center back next to Ashley Williams. But by the same token, I mean, he could do a little bit, as a right back. It's not the same effect as having Seamus Coleman in the lineup, but he did what he can. So in terms of the goals, as I said, Philippe Coutinho and Sadio Mane, they had a ball with the experience in the defense today, the inexperience in the defense today, with Matthew Pennington really being shaken up. Like I said, the occasion must have been too big. I mean, that is not to say that if we did throw John Joe Kenny in, maybe it would have been the same situation. Maybe we wouldn't have, maybe we would have been dealing with the same thing. But at the end of the day, who knows? The first goal was, I'll give it to him, was wonderfully taken by Sadio Mane. Horrible defending, just too much space in there where he could just kind of, do what he does best, just run on the ball, run through channels. He ran through a channel, slotted it home with his left hand, with his left foot, in the bottom right hand corner. Too much out of the reach for the goalkeeper, and it was 1-0. And then something like maybe 10 minutes later, maybe even less than that, we get a corner. Matthew Pennington, he gets his opportunity. The ball landed at his feet really. And he just slotted it home. It was one all around, 1-1 all around. And he celebrated. He At that point I thought maybe we could get back into it. This kid, he's come back after lack of football, and he scored his first, I believe, his first goal for the club actually. So I thought maybe that would be a springboard. You could see we started really picking it up, but it just wasn't happening for us. We were not passing the ball well. We were not holding possession, and our most creative player, Ross Barkley, his head wasn't in the game. First act of the match, he flew in a tackle. So he just wasn't. His head wasn't in the match today, and he got booked after a reckless tackle. I believe on it might have been Emery Chan. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. But he wasn't in it today. I mean, you could see after he got booked, that maybe he started, calming down a bit. He really started trying, but nobody was really in it today. Um, the space in the defense, I would have to honestly blame it on Idrissa Gana Gueye. He does well defensively, but I don't know. He just, as a lone holding midfielder, I don't think that's really his game. He pushes on the ball too much, and actually, I think I saw it on Twitter or Bleacher Report that could, with Idrissa Gana Gueye, his hunger to push on the ball, that could be our biggest downfall. And that's actually what it was. He was sliding in for challenges and tackles, and he was attacking the ball too much. And that just opened up space. He's not the Gareth Barry type or the Morgan Schneiderlin type where he's okay with kind of sitting back and picking the tackles that he should go for. He's more of the hard work guy. He likes to move. He's not really sitting. He's not really good at sitting back and attacking the player to receive possession. Well, Tommy Davis, he was doing what he does. He was causing issues, making runs, but he wasn't in it today. Nobody was really in it today. Our midfield, and that's another thing. When we started off, we only had the two central midfielders. We only had Idrissa Gana Gueye and Tommy Davis, and then we had the wing backs. So if Idrissa was pressing on the ball, Tommy's not good. Really, he's not that good at really seeing plays being formulated. So he's good at kind of creating, making extra space. But our most offensive player is already pushing on the ball, and maybe he's already caused for a play or something to be made because he's already pushed on the ball, and what I'm saying. So it was, and we were too shallow in the midfield as well because we only had the two central midfielders. So maybe, and maybe some of you will disagree with this, but after watching the match, I'm sure at the end of the day you can't really disagree too much. But maybe it was best if he just ran the 4-3-3, which it ended up becoming anyway later in the second half. But at that point, it might have been too late. So Gareth Barry really should have came on right at the beginning of the second half, and we were just too shallow in the midfield. So it really caused us issues. Okay, they really did a good job of isolating Rom, isolating channels and passes to get to Rom today. They just made sure. I mean, given Rom is usually isolated anyway, but if you notice in the beginning of the game, Calvert-Lewin did a pretty good job of being in and around his vicinity. Ross did as well, but like I said, he just wasn't really in the game today himself. And yeah, later on he started picking it up and doing better at keeping around, keeping open. And he did have a wonderful opportunity. He in late in the second half where he had lost possession, he picked it up, did a little bit of work, and then I believe he tried to pass it in to I believe it might have been Calvert Lewin, but it, it didn't really turn out to be anything. But he really started picking up later in the second half, but that was after he was booked. But for the most part, Romelu Lukaku, he was just kind of missing. He was I don't know how many touches he could have even got on the ball, but he didn't really get many. I know that for sure. So he was missing. I forgot that he was on the field because there was too much going on in our half, and with the defense in the midfield and us scrambling. And that's another thing. We weren't passing today. We just weren't getting passes. We weren't stringing balls together. It would ricochet off people. Maybe we'll get lucky to have it, to end up with possession, and then it would turn out to nothing. Or they would just kind of intercept it. The battle was definitely won in their midfield. In their midfield, honestly, is not that great, you know? But they definitely did well. I have to say, um, Wijnaldum, I know we were going after him ourselves, and then we lost that fight, obviously, to Liverpool, but he's a very hardworking player, and he actually dictates a lot of plays for them. And then you have your obvious, Philippe Coutinho's and all that, but their their team is not that great. They're lacking a proper forward. Their midfield was drained, especially with the exclusion of Jordan Henderson, and um, Adam Lallana is more like a forward now. But with the exclusion of him, their team as a whole really isn't that great. So it was just unfortunate for us to really lose this battle today. It all turned out to be pretty much our usual issues. Things that I even said myself was probably going to happen. I mean, the battle was needed to be won in the midfield, but we were drained of our players. But there was no reason for us to really lose the way we did. Joe Robles, he looked stunned at every shot that they took. He just didn't know what to do. So really, now that's really starting to show his his issues that we may have to deal with in the future. Maybe we will have to go after a goalkeeper, a proper, more experienced goalkeeper, because every goalkeeper has their day, but those are kind of issues that we've seen before. Joel Robles, he gets a little nervous. He doesn't know which way to go, and then he ends up getting stuck, much like he did now. This right here, this replay right here. I think that was Coutinho's goal, and that's another thing. Oh no, that was Divock Origi's goal, and that's another thing. All their goals were very well taken, but it was all because our defense just wasn't clicking today. And like I said, they were really pushing on Matthew Pennington's side up until he got taken off. Then it's just defensive issues. But it was an unfortunate loss today, and now we just have to look to the future. We hit the bump in the road that we really didn't need to take it, and it's unfortunate that we did. We lost 3 points today, but we have Man U on Tuesday. Paul Pogba, he will be back in their lineup, so we just have to really kind of go after it now. We have to, if we want to continue to push for Champions League football, which after this loss might be a bit harder, but we took this loss. The manager now, he's gotten past the derbies. He understood can't speak, the importance of a derby in Liverpool and Everton's history. He understands the importance of a derby for us. So and like the culture. So he's gotten past it. Unfortunately, with 2 losses. But now he has to move on and really start thinking, okay, we have Man United on Tuesday. How can we take it to them? what can we do? Clearly, Matthew Pennington is not our option really too much as a choice as a center back, because little do people know we do have history up against Man U. So, there's history there, and maybe that occasion, and especially they were away, we're at Old Trafford, maybe that occasion will be too much for young Matthew Pennington to come in once again. So, maybe then, if he decides to go three in the back again, maybe then he'll have Mason Holgate. If not, then he'll probably just do what we've got, do the formation that we've gotten good results in recent weeks. Just go with the four in the back with Mace as that right back. So, and then maybe, just maybe, Morgan Schneider will be back to to go right back into his spot in the midfield. But time is too close, so that might be a stretch as well. But what we don't need is, us to be short in the midfield, because Paul Pogba dictating things. I believe maybe even Ander Herrera. So, their midfield is not that great either. But they, with big Paul Pogba in there, and Ander Herrera maybe causing issues, maybe that that will be something we need to really think about, especially Paul Pogba, because he can cause us issues. With Mourinho being more of a defensive coach, that's something that the manager is going to really have to consider, because he likes his teams defensively sound, sitting back, really picking opportunities to push and attack. So the manager's going to have a lot of thinking to do in these next 2-3 days. In terms of future, transfer plans, I always try to get into potential transfer ideas for the manager and for the team to consider. It is evident as ever that we need to be more in depth with defense. And now it's really time to now 8 games left in the season, the manager's really gonna have to start thinking about, Joe Robles' performance. He can't really rely on Stecklenburg either. So with Joe Robles, not really being in it today, and it being a thing that has happened in the past, he has to really start paying attention to his performances with these last 8 games. So that being said, we just can't. At this, we took a loss today. That is something that we're gonna have to deal with. But now all we can do is just really try to get our players fit. Maybe try to get Besic, as another option. Obviously, maybe try to get him more in and around, training. Because I know he's not fully fit, but I think he's fit enough to really start kind of, rehabilitating. Morgan Schneiderlin, like I said, he was active on social media talking about his recovery. So maybe he can sneak into the lineup on Tuesday. I know it was a stretch today, but maybe Tuesday will be different. I'm sure the manager has screamed his head off at the likes of, especially Ross Barkley, who, as ever, we know he can be kind of like the dictator of our play. He is our only playmaker, and Philippe Coutinho really showed him how to play that position today. A creative player should. Obviously, it's one of those games where, especially for him, and Tom Davis, who also got booked today for a reckless tackle, it is it was an occasion where players, especially who grew up on that side, who grew up as an Everton fan or a Liverpool fan, to, have emotion and really want to make a stand for this match. But Ross should have known better. He's had even in the reverse fixture at Goodison in December, he had a reckless tackle on Jordan Henderson. So, he's lucky to have been on the field at the end of the match. So, it's something as a player like that, he needs to have his mind cool. So maybe that's another thing. I mean, we all know that we're lacking creativity, and I've named a few players who maybe will be, good options for that position. But whatever, nobody's gonna listen to me. Um. So yeah, that's about it, Toffee fans. I mean, I guess we had it coming. Um. I mean, I know we're not a perfect team. We're far from perfect, and all good things come to an end. But maybe it was a sign that in you know past days and weeks that you know there's so much going on, and maybe we're just distracted with all the drama that's been going on. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's harsh to say, but we did Seamus Coleman no justice today with our play, and we really should have done better, and it's unfortunate. So that's about it. I am gonna be doing my Man U pre-match chat right after this. Given I do have to edit this video, so catch that soon. Um, so yeah, so remember, hit me up, comment sections below, give me opinions, and help me out with any opinions you might have on my videos and on what I said. Give me opinions on my opinions and fill me in on information that I might miss and on anything going on that I may not be aware of. You don't know if I'm aware of it. You don't know if I'm not. So just let me know. I mean, it's whatever. Also hit me up on Twitter, COIBTV1878, and hit me up on my regular Twitter account at it's ChrissyJ27. And remember, go check out Love Everton Forum, a wonderful place, to really express your disappointment and all that and discomfort with what's going on with the football club right now, and all the drama that's going on off the pitch, and the Bramley Moore thing, which is the only positive that we've received recently. So yeah, catch me on the next video. Enjoy the Man U game, and remember, hit me up. See you in the next one. Peace.